Insights with Terri Coots, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Coots. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you are listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Thank you for joining me to explore together the week of June the 1st through the 8th, 2025. I have some interesting things that I wanted to share with you. It's been a very interesting week. I absolutely do not have the ability to put all the information in 10 or 15 minutes of this podcast, so I'm going to break it up into a few different podcasts. So we're going to start off first with where are the planets. The planet right now in the zodiac sign is in Gemini, which is an amazing communication energy field, and it's also in Gemini and Mercury, which is how we think, how we communicate. That will be changing to a psychic energy field, which happens to be Cancer, on the 9th. And I'm just wanting to prepare some of you for maybe a little bit of an experiment. And I'll get to that in a minute. And then Venus, the planet of love, beauty, is in Aries. That's kind of a fighty kind of an energy, so it's not really, not the greatest for some of the relationships, especially if there's fiery relationships. There's been a few breakups and difficulties I've seen in relationships because of this Mars, which is the god of war. It can ignite some really passionate feelings, and what do we do with them? And that's going to lead into what I wanted to talk about as well. And then Mars, the drive, the planet that gets our passions going, that's in Leo, a fire sign, which is also Aries. So there's a lot of fire at the end. And then at the beginning, we have the air sign of Gemini. So we got wind fanning the fire. So it can get pretty incredible. And so, on that note, what we want to do is we do not want to fan the flames of anger or fuming, or depends on passion. It depends on what kind of passion you want to fan, the good kind or the bad kind. We are going to have a full moon on the 11th, and that can also add a lot of energy to things. And I would like to see us take that full moon energy, just tons of energy, and use it in a way that's really productive. That's why I'm going to be bringing some of this stuff up. We've got a month to work on it here. Now, the beginning of the week, we have a vulnerability. We have to kind of keep an eye. Vulnerability in the stomach area. So if you have stomach issues or you have a sensitive stomach, this is the time to pay attention to that little tummy. It's going to try to talk to you. Some foods may not be your friends. Let your stomach know that stomach will let you know what foods maybe work or don't work, and how to combine the foods, and maybe what times is better to eat for you. We're all individuals, and we all react different to different stressors, and that can change how we digest or ferment or bloat. This is a great time with that Gemini energy and that psychic energy coming up to try to understand our body in a very different way than we're used to or we're taught to. The vulnerable part of our body will be the pancreas and the small intestine, the digestive tract. Then as we move through the week, it's going to move to the kidneys. So if you're weak in kidneys, or you tend to have kidney infections or bladder infections, really keep an eye on that, because there's a propensity to do that. Maybe do a detox or drink your lemon juice and water. Maybe some apple cider vinegar if you tolerate that well. Anything to do at a kind of astringent type of thing to clean those little baby organs out. And then towards the end of the week, it'll be more our regenerative organs, which would be for females, the breast, the womb. For males, if you are concerned about prostate, keep an eye on that. If you have an issue in that area, just keep an eye on that. Now, excuse me, where I want to go with this is we're going to look at the number that was given to us for this week is the number 7. And this allows us, or tries to get us, to work at achieving our potential, to even know, to realize what our potential is. And it's a kind of an energy field that can allow us to look at our potential and then handle unexpected changes in our life a little bit better. This is not a forcing kind of a number, but it is a very successful number so that we can communicate with others. You pair that with that Gemini energy, super duper. How we experience life, how we experience the situations that we work with, how to develop self-confidence. Number 7 helps us with that. We can do that in our dogs. If you have a fearful dog, this is a wonderful time to start getting that dog to develop some self-confidence in friendships, in your relationship. That's going to play a major role if we can get into it. And it's a very rich spiritual number, allowing us to have a very rich spiritual life. So, with all of that behind us, let's jump into what I wanted to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about telepathy. Now, that's a word that a lot of people are uncomfortable with, or the thoughts of somebody reading our mind can be uncomfortable, because I'm not sure about you, but I certainly know about me. There are some thoughts I do not want people to know about, or to know that I'm having. So we like the privacy of that. But telepathy is a real thing. I find it more with the animals. They do use body language. So even micro movements of their body can indicate things, and they read their body language much more efficiently than we do. I notice that people can be very lacking in being aware of body language. Now, what we have is we have so many distractions. So if you take a child that's autistic or is incapable of speech, oftentimes we just think there's nothing going on inside, but it's been my experience there's actually more going on inside. And some of the studies that they've done is that they're very capable, not all of them, but very capable of reading the mind. So there's been quite a few tests done on that subject where they're very good at doing that. And animals, being incapable of human speech, are extreme. And I can tell you from experience, they read my mind. I know that they read my body language because we communicate that way. That's our first language, is our body language. My mouth is right at the bottom. They listen to my body language, they listen to my eye contact, and they listen to my mind. And I listen to their minds. So I'm sharing this. I'm going out on a limb, kids, here. So I'm sharing this with you because I would like to see the potential that other people have in being communicative that way with their animals or their people, and start to develop that a little bit. Now, as I said, we're in a difficulty because we're distracted. We're distracted by the radio, TV, thoughts that where our minds are encased in what we have to do today, what our list is, whereas animals are in the moment, and people with autism usually are in the moment as well. So now I want you to start paying attention to what's going on in your mind, and maybe what's going on in the animal's mind, and start letting them teach you, because animals are our teachers. And I can tell you from experience, here's the limb I'm out on, I can tell you from experience, it's not just dogs that are capable of telepathy. I have communicated with insects and all kinds of different, I believe even plants. They don't use words, but they certainly do communicate in energy, and that energy can be felt. If you've ever touched a Venus flytrap and had it close, or there's another plant that kind of folds up, if you get near it, it can feel your energy and it just closes right up. So you're not talking to it, but it's very sensitive to your energy. And all plants are. Everything is, really, everything. Even in inorganic matter or inanimate objects like rocks and gravel, they don't communicate. It isn't a sentient being, but it certainly holds an energy field. I can tell you because I have grabbed crystals and agates and different types of, pink quartz and clear quartz, and felt the energy on those crystals, those stones emanating, giving me information from maybe who held it or the environment that it comes from, so you can feel it. And oftentimes, if we close our eyes, it's amazing. This is meditation as well. It's amazing what we can pick up. So I'm going to do a little bit each week to help you maybe do some exercises in how you can maybe get in touch with this unique ability that we have in telepathy, even just reading energy. So I think it's going to be an interesting journey. Some of you will be catching on really, really easy, and some it's skeptical. I know, and I don't want you to be gullible, but I just want you to be open and curious and ready for an experiment. So what I'd like you to work on this week, if you can, when somebody pops into your mind and you haven't thought of them in a while, give them a call. Or you'll think of somebody and they call you and you think, oh my gosh, I've been thinking about you all week long. So for me, I can tell you just about who's going to call for clients to have readings done, because it'll start like a warning button. I'll think of this person, and then I'll think of them maybe 3 times the next day, then 5 times the following day. And I know they're going to call for a reading. Because they've been thinking about me, I'm picking up that wave. All of a sudden, out of the blue, somebody will pop into my mind. And oftentimes, if I call them, they say, oh my gosh, you're so psychic. I was just thinking about you. I can't believe it. You just called me. This is a transferable way of communication. I do this with the animals all the time. Oftentimes, I will call them to me without even using my voice. I just think of them. I picture them coming to me and being in front of me, and I throw some cookies out there at them, and they all come barreling around the corner looking at me, waiting for their cookies. And in some dogs, it develops faster and stronger than in other dogs. The busy dogs, like my little Kelpie Beanie, is so busy with her nose and that she's a little bit slower on the uptake. But as she gets older and a little less busy-minded, she'll allow me a little bit more intrusion into her mind, and vice versa. But the calmer dogs, the ones that aren't quite so busy thinking, are easier to read and to be read. So it's about allowing them into your experience and them allowing you into theirs. And that's when I have people come out to train their dogs. I tell them, we're going to develop a connection. We're going to have the connection, your mind to your dog's mind to you, and the heart. That is my leash. My leash is my heart. My leash is my mind. So when I kind of wonder where my dogs are, because I've got a fairly big place, I can feel the connection. God forbid I can't feel the connection, then I know we're in trouble. So I'm always connected to them, and I want to help you with that. So this week, I'd like you to practice before you pick up the phone. If it's ringing, see if you can feel who it is. See if you can find or be aware of the thoughts that you know didn't come from you. They're random, they came out of nowhere, and just pay attention to that. If you have an animal, look at your animal. Don't stare them down and psychically wreck them, but softly, gently look at them and let them into your mind, and you get into their mind and see if all of a sudden you have this impression that they might be thirsty, or they want a hug, or they're not feeling terrific that day. You'll see an exchange of energy and communication. And everything communicates a little differently, and it's one big world of experimenting. So we're going to do that. I would love to have some comments and have people tell me what they experienced. You can comment on the YouTube channel if you wanted to, or you can email or text me. You can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com, and with your permission, I would read your feedback and share it with others, and maybe we can learn more from each other. Or you can text me at 519-726-6699, and you can book your appointments that way as well. Or if you need your dog trained, I'd be happy to help you and help you communicate with your animals. Alrighty, on that note, I'd like to take this moment to thank Charlie O'Brien. You got my mind there, Charlie. You got my mind saying thank you. He puts us on Spotify, on Apple iTunes, on Amazon Music Podcast, and SoundCloud. He's also got us on YouTube, and then he gives me the link when he puts it up, and I will put it on Facebook. So again, thank you very much for your time, and for your time this week if you're going to experiment, and I thank Charlie for doing all this work. I really appreciate it. So I'm sending you, Charlie, a psychic kiss on your forehead. All right. Thanks, everybody. You have a wonderful week. And don't forget to tune in to Charlie's radio station, thebig8.com, and stream some of that amazing music that he plays. The 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. You want a treat? That's a treat. All righty. Have a good week, everybody. I look forward to your comments. Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.